Fire, undisputed fire. You know what I mean? Shout out my guy Dave Dust for putting me on, man. You know what I'm saying? To the gentleman who makes these beautifully crafted Lombardis. You know the vibes, man. I might got to get the link in the description, you know what I mean, and point y'all in the right direction. Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, our second home game of the season is, about to go down on Sunday. It doesn't seem like it's just the second home game of the season, man. It's been a lot going down all week. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man. You know the vibes, man. We gonna make sure we put out some solid keys to victory because this is a game that I really, really want to win. But listen, man, let's think about it, man. Let's think about it. Listen, this is the keys to victory for beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, listen, man, let's talk about it for a second. The Kansas City Chiefs are on a 2-game losing streak. The Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. Until otherwise, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's think about the last 2 losses, man. It wasn't really like decisive wins. They never got manhandled. It's just football losses. Things can happen. They had some turnovers late in the game, and they lost 2 games in a row. I would feel more comfortable going into this game if the Kansas City Chiefs were actually undefeated. I would feel like we had more of a shot in this one if they were undefeated, because you can catch an undefeated team slipping. But the Kansas City Chiefs are looking for a get-right game. They're looking for a game to where they can, start looking like themselves again as far as putting, tallying up wins in the win column. It ain't been going their way the last 2 weeks, and they're not trying to lose 3 straight, especially with teams like Denver being undefeated and in their division, gaining some traction and making moves. So the Kansas City Chiefs got to make some ground in their division. So they're looking to come in here and they're looking to, I'm not going to hold you, make light work of the Philadelphia Eagles. But we could prevent that. You know what I'm saying? We could prevent that. A win is not impossible. Not getting blown out is very likely in this game. You know what I'm saying? The Kansas City Chiefs, they got some holes. They got that offense, but everything else pretty much, for the most part, ain't really up to par, as you would think of a team that's being talked about like the Kansas City Chiefs. The first thing the Philadelphia Eagles can do to, mitigate getting the hinges blown off us in this game is definitely establishing the run. We talked about the historical numbers, man. We haven't seen a team hand the ball off to a running back 3 or less times in the Eagles' history in the last 88 years. That was the last time we saw this from a Philadelphia Eagles team. It's been 20 years since the NFL has seen 3 or less handoffs to a running back in the game. That's not the way of football. That's not winning football. You don't win football games by going out there and doing things that are just abnormal to the game and to the structure. You might as well would go out there and just say, hey, we just gonna put a goddamn left tackle at wide receiver today. You know what I mean? Just stuff just don't supposed to happen in the NFL. And the Philadelphia Eagles actually were the first team to do something like that. And it paid. It paid in big terms. Have you established a running game against the Dallas Cowboys? You damn sure don't get blown out. You know what I mean? Who knows what happens? I talk about it being 7-7, you know what I'm saying, with the Eagles having the ball all the time. Who knows what happens if you make that a 14-7 game and you have an identity and you're establishing a run? I'm a firm believer. Listen, I don't like to talk about injuries, or I don't like to go too off topic or get too far-fetched, but I'm a firm believer that if you run the ball, Isaac Seumalo ain't done for the season. I think the game plan was just flawed, and it caused so many things and so many ramifications, and it got so many people talking by simply not doing the simple task of running the ball. So establishing a run game is key for this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. The next thing would be, some timing routes, some throws that make your quarterback comfortable. A lot of people think Jalen Hurts was god awful against the Dallas Cowboys. He was bad, but he wasn't god awful. Like, come on, man. It's the running theme with all of these still shots and still images that's being passed around is not telling the whole tale in context. You know what I mean? If you get a chance, go check out Philly Mike, maybe his last video. He talks about these pictures that's being passed around, and I never like to, comment on things like that, on pictures like that, because I know that, just saying a guy open and a still image doesn't tell the entirety of the play, especially what's going on in the offensive line and things like that. But quick timing routes like we did. We opened the game against Atlanta with 2 quick passes to Quez Watkins. Let's get to getting the ball in the playmaker's hands. We took Miles Sanders out of the game plan. Quez Watkins, where was he at in the game plan? Terrible game plan last week, man. The next thing we could do is definitely don't leave points on the table. If you're in field goal range and the game is not out of hand or nothing like that, or if you got the lead, take your 3 points. Take your points any way you could get them against this team who can put up points in the blink of an eye. Don't leave any points on the table in this game. And I would say that to say this, you know what I mean? Every fourth down ain't every fourth down. Now, we'll explain that later. Every fourth down is not needed for us to attempt in this game either. The next key would be you definitely got to cut down the penalties. We're the most penalized team in the NFL. This is the most penalized team through 3 weeks in Philadelphia Eagles history. We are an undisciplined football team. In order to beat a team with the stature of Andy Reid as the coach and Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback, you got to mitigate the mistakes and you can't help them out. Cutting down the turnovers could be key, and it could be paramount in keeping this game close and avoiding a blowout or even winning this game. The next thing you definitely want to do is you definitely want to pressure Patrick Mahomes. You got to put some pressure on him. Patrick Mahomes is one of those guys who can read pressure and get the ball out of his hands pretty quick. But Patrick Mahomes also likes to wait around for plays to develop so he can take that deep shot to Tyreek Hill or anybody else. They got Josh Gordon down too. I can see Patrick Mahomes, waiting for things to develop. And I can see Patrick Mahomes dumping it off to the tight end a lot this game. But at the end of the day, if you're putting pressure on Patrick Mahomes, we already have a solid interior pressure. We get that push from Hargrave and Fletcher Cox. We got to worry about the edges because Patrick Mahomes is a guy who can skip on out to the outside and run and pick up a first down. Make sure the edges are contained and you continue to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes as much as you can without blitzing. But I think you still do have to blitz in this game. You want to play disciplined against the playmakers. You definitely got to play disciplined against the playmakers. We let CeeDee Lamb on the opening drive of the game take a skinny post to the middle of the field. We blew coverage, and it is what it was. They scored after that catch. You gotta understand who you guard. And if Tyreek Hill is out there running free, make sure you maintain where he's supposed to be at all times. Travis Kelce as well. You know what I mean? I kind of worry about our linebackers in a game like this because Travis Kelce is one of those ones, you know what I'm saying, that could be matched up with a linebacker and it could be a long night for your team. So play disciplined against the playmakers. Understand who you lined up against. If it's your responsibility, stay with that guy. Don't leave it up to nobody else to take care of their zone responsibility. Especially, that's the one thing I hate sometimes about zone. You could be guarding your zone and your zone is empty. Your zone is empty. You're guarding your zone. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Sometimes you could just leave your zone and go help somebody else out. That's how plays are made. If the play ain't flowing towards your zone, but if the play breaks down and the quarterback is scrambling, get back to your zone. But come on, don't just stand around in the zone that no action is taking place in. You know what I mean? We got to be smart if we're going to win some of these games, man. Definitely do. And don't miss your opportunities, man. I spoke earlier about not every first down being a good first down to go for. But if you 4th and 1 on the 1 yard line, 1 yard to punch it in, you got to go for that against the Kansas City Chiefs. Period. If you 4th and 1 at the 35 and you could just take the 3 points, take the 3 points. But it's a difference in 4th and 1 on the goal line. You got to QB sneak that in. You just got to be smart sometime. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will have a much more productive game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people not picking us to win this game. It's honestly hard for me to even pick a winner as well. But if the Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to have to put some points on the board. The Philadelphia Eagles can beat the Kansas City Chiefs with a score of 30-28. 30-28. I think you got to put up 30 if you're going to knock them off. I still haven't given up on our defense because Dak didn't destroy us deep. It was more of Ezekiel Elliott, but the Kansas City Chiefs don't have Ezekiel Elliott. They don't have Ezekiel Elliott. I actually prefer the Kansas City Chiefs to throw the ball as many times as they want. That's how we'll be able to, create mistakes more often, man. So let me know what y'all think in the comments about the keys to victory. Give me your score predictions in the comment section as well. You know what I'm saying? This is the 4th game of the season. I encourage all Philadelphia Eagles fans to be positive as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of negativity swirling around, the franchise and a lot of rumors and stuff like that. That's not our concern. Our concern is here. When you're talking to LB, the concern is how we can get better every week. It's not just saying the sky is falling and not having a solution to the problem. I can just say how bad the team is every video this week. It's going to get old after a while. What's the plan? Or what's the strategy to try to fix that? And my keys to victory are the strategy to try to have a better offensive game plan. And you know what I mean? We're just going to see how it shakes. We're going to see if the coaches go that way or go another way. But there's multiple ways to go to get the ship righted. We just got to get the ship righted. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man.